Scott, how many years have you been doing this?
I think I'm going on 35.
So 35 years of llama experience.
That ages me.
No, I'm at the point in life where I realize that a little bit of seasoning is good.
Yeah, this is our saddle. It's like a Colorado pivot pack, only in my own design, and it's solid aluminum. We've got 4 bars here with an attached pad. The pad looks like this. It's like a sheepskin here, and these here have a cushion underneath it, some neoprene cushion, and this is where the spine is. Llamas have protruding spine a little bit. You want to protect that. So you have a front and back. Your cinches are on the far side. The name of the llama is here. It's Tommy or Tom, and you're going to always load your llama from the left-hand side on our saddle system. This is the webbing on the other side we're going to attach, and these here are your top loading straps. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just check the llama on a feel right in here for any big pine cones or rocks or sticks like that. And he doesn't, but they're all, it just rained and he's got a lot of picked up duff here, hay duff. So I'm just going to kind of wipe it off, make sure there's nothing big in there, and then I'm going to drape these over like this and drop them. Make sure your bars are covered, not looped like that or curled up. Gonna go right in here. I'm gonna position it right here. You're gonna come over here, and so I'm gonna take the front cinch right here. I'm gonna grab that front cinch like this, okay? And for our system, here's your breastplate. It's a solid bone plate right here. You're gonna do about three fingers out, and that cinch is gonna go right in here. So I'm gonna grab that, and it's just like a horse saddle, a latigo style knot. You're gonna go through once. You're gonna go up to the top here, just like a saddle on a horse if you've done it. If not, it's pretty easy. Now before I tighten it up, I'm gonna get it in position. I think I wanna go right about right there, where you're about 3 inches or 3 fingers right from the armpit. You don't want it in the armpit, you want it out just a tad. I'm gonna put my hand behind that. I'm gonna do one last look. It's square here, from neck to tail down here. I'm gonna pull my hand out. What you want to do on our saddle system is you want this front cinch as tight as you can get it. If you don't get it as tight, it could slip and move. And like with any system, you should have it tight. Go as tight as you can get it. I'm gonna go a little more. That's as tight as I can get it. I'm gonna keep pressure. I'm gonna use my tip. I'm gonna go through the O-ring just like a saddle on a horse or a llama. I'm gonna go around like this. Stick that tip through, and there's my knot. Got a little bit of slack. You really shouldn't have anything dangling on any saddle system. That irritates them. So I'm just gonna pull a loop upwards like that, and just like that, and that's good. And that's gonna fold down with your panniers go on top. The rear cinch on our system, the knot is exactly the same. I'm not going to position anything yet until I run the webbing all the way through. Going to go all the way through, line it up, line your webbing up so it's not twisted. Now on the rear cinch, if you look right here, is the beginning of their penis sheath, and then there's all llamas have a line of wool and then bare skin. I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to go right about there. It's kind of angled, and I'm just going to start tightening it up. Right about like that. Now, you don't want it as tight as you can get it because that's where their diaphragm is. And if you take a look, it's kind of concave right there like that. Kind of a concave. I'm going to go up a little bit more. And that's about as tight as you want it on this. And so I'm going to tie my knot off. There we go. And that's your saddle. That's your done deal. You want to come around and take a look, make sure everything's okay, because sometimes people monkey around with it. And I'm just going to tighten that up a little bit. This definitely needs to be tightened up. I'm going to look here to make sure that this stuff is not twisted, or you don't cross them over. Crossing over is not going to work. It's nice and solid, real tight. You can move the whole body like that. He's ready to load the panniers.
Next step, general deer hunt. I am in the process of driving to my deer area. I just picked up my llamas. So if you are planning to hunt western Wyoming and you are thinking at all about using llamas, I would highly recommend Lander Llama Company. Scott Woodruff does a great job with his llamas, and it's a lot of fun to use them. They're well trained, they're well taken care of. I don't worry about the quality of animal that I'm getting, anything like that. So just a shameless plug, because we've got a great relationship with him and I trust him. So we are here at the trailhead. Got the llamas tied up to the horse trailer. The ground was too hard to get the stakes in, so we had to get creative and tie them up to the horse trailer, which worked. And I think they were tired from the ride over too. I think they were tired of standing in it. So here we go, time to load up the llamas. Stock is work. Like, even with llamas as low maintenance as we've sold llamas to be, remember, you've got work. So every day I have to take care of these animals. They're my responsibility. They're gonna serve me well on a heavy pack out. In saying that, make sure that you are at a point where you are just prepared to take care of animals as part of your trip. I've reached the point where I think it's fun to have them along, but not everybody does. Just a thing to kind of remember there. So we're actually in kind of a good situation here. We're gonna be going in pretty light. Tommy's gonna be about 60 some pounds. I think peak is gonna be 50 something. So that gives us some wiggle room when we get a deer, because that's how heavy our packs are gonna be minus the food. So say I kill 4 days in. Well, that means I've eaten 4 days worth of food, so about half the food I've gotten is gone. But what that also means is that we can put more weight on the llamas on the way out, and we don't kill them on the way in. So this first time packing, you got to figure it out. Now, if you can imagine, if we brought a third llama that was just for strictly meat hauling, 4 llamas can get, you can get an elk out on 4 llamas pretty easy. I think that's what Scott recommended. So what I'm doing is I've got my food right here. That's all my camp stuff, and we did kind of the same thing with Evan. So we put in 1 bag at a time, and we add kind of annually until we get it memorized where each piece goes. I'm gonna give these guys a little bit of grain to start off the day. So all right. So we're about ready to go. So gonna grab the llamas, we're gonna start hiking. Evan's about to get his first experience with llamas too. One of the lesser known facts about llamas, they take forever to drink water. So there's something to look at as you consider using them. They don't exactly start drinking it right away. You have to give them plenty of time, and you have to be patient. All right, so Evan and I filtered a bunch of water. We just grabbed a bunch of other water, put it in bladders. We've got because of how much mountain house and stuff I cook, we boil that obviously, and so we didn't need to filter that much. So we did enough that basically got 2 days worth of water to drink, and then we should be ready to filter again. We'll see. We may need to run the llamas to water at that point, but we got about 3 gallons of water for the llamas, and then there's another 6 liters of water that's just for the mountain house, that sort of thing. So it's a rule of thumb for backcountry hunting. Anything you could see yourself needing if you got separated from your stock is what I have in my backpack. I know some guys don't put anything in there, but what if those 2 things run away? How am I gonna survive? So I've got 1 day's worth of food. I've got a puffy jacket, I've got my rain gear, 2 liters of water, which I can get back to the trailhead on easily enough. And then also, the next piece of the equation then is also anything else that I might need to survive, like overnight, while being able to boil some water. So my stove was with me, not with the llamas. So there you go. That's why I've developed my system and why I've got a little bit of weight. All right, so we made it to the top. Still breathing heavy. Not as young as I once was. So llamas did just fine. They're loaded up with water. Now we're gonna go probably hike another 10 minutes. I've got a couple spots we can put a camp if we want to. We can set out the llamas, let them eat. As you can see, they're obviously hungry. We'll maybe offer them some water. Then we're gonna go glass. You ready? Let's go, Tommy.